NYPIRG, New York Public Interest Research Group. To my left is Walter Hank from Toxics Targeting. Before we start, let me just go through and make sure everyone has a press packet so they can see what's in it. The packet has a one-page release, front back, and really a summary of the information that's contained afterwards that Walter will go through in a second. There's a map of New York, copies of what you see behind us, as well as additional information by region across New York State. Walter will go through some of this data in a second. If everybody doesn't have a packet, please let me know and we'll get you. With only a couple of days to go before Earth Day, it's a time when we all look to see how we're doing in terms of preserving the environment and public health. And we all know the impact that the burning of fossil fuels has on our atmosphere and the quality of our air. But what's less well known is the impact in other areas of the environment that the fossil fuel industry has. And so the report and analyses we're releasing today relies on government documents and corporate documents to underscore the impact that fossil fuel use has in the state of New York. New York has a long history of industrial activity, much of it tied to the fossil fuel industry, oil and gas, and that legacy has had an impact on the state of New York. As you will find out when Walter goes through some of the findings of the review of these documents, that the impact has been dramatic in some cases, that there are literally hundreds of sites all across New York State where there are reports of fossil fuel contamination, petroleum-based contamination. We think it's important that as we head into Earth Day, that lawmakers and the governor, regulators, get the message that it's time to clean up New York, that the sites that we're going to talk about today, plus other sites from other sources and other companies, need to be cleaned up as well. It's long past time for analyses and talking. It's time for action. We examined specifically ExxonMobil because it's the biggest oil company and extremely profitable. We thought that when you look at all the dump sites and impacts all across the state, we wanted to focus on one of the big companies to illustrate the need for action at the state level. So as I mentioned before, this is really, we hope, a clarion call as we move toward Earth Day, that the governor, state government, companies responsible clean up their messes, their industrial messes, many of which have existed for decades and have still not been cleaned up. Time for action is now. The time for talking and analyses has long since passed. So with that, let me turn it over to Walter Hank from Toxics Targeting to go through some of the information that we're presenting today.